No, you can buy those on Amazon. I was looking at them. You can Google search it. Amazon. You type in the smoking gun and see what comes up, and also type in as immersion circulator or sous vide. It'll give you different kinds of options.
Yes,
How's
sir.
the
I did that early.
anti-grill?
I did that earlier and everything, and it came like with a I want to say that was a 6.5 pan.
Uh-huh.
And it already had like where you can put the immerser inside of it,
Uh-huh.
the sous vide machine. And I seen one of those for like 30 something bucks, but it wouldn't get here until the 4th though.
Yeah, no. Like I said, for now, use the thermometer. A stock pot with simmering water and a Ziploc baggie, maybe a little paper clip to hold the Ziploc bag on the side of the pot so your product doesn't submerge all the way down, because otherwise you're going to have boiling water inside the Ziploc baggie.
Yes, sir.
If that's something you guys want to invest in the future, it's up to you guys, okay?
Yes,
But
sir.
Amazon
Is his anti-grill device available as well? That was amazing.
Yeah, that was really cool though.
Hey, chef. So how would you control the temp? I mean, for it to, instead of it going up, and how it goes up and it goes down, like how would you control it to be right there at that exact temp?
Just like you do when you boil something, you bring the water to a certain temperature and you temp it, and you drop the heat very low until you control that temperature. But you got to have your thermometer inside.
Heard. I got you, chef.
Yeah. All right, sous vide, right? Was an awesome. Okay. So here's some top 10 sous vide recipes. Sous vide duck breast. Okay. Sous vide duck breast. It is at 135 degrees or 57 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. If you guys want a sous vide duck breast. Okay. Sous vide duck breast. Sous vide cauliflower. Okay.
I'm sorry, what was that temperature?
The sous vide duck, it is 135 degrees Fahrenheit or 57 degrees Celsius for 1 hour.
Okay, chef, we're doing that. Wouldn't we sear it after the fact?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. After the fact. Okay. Number 2, sous vide cauliflower. Okay. 185 degrees Fahrenheit or 85 degrees Celsius for about 40 minutes. Okay. Al dente, doesn't lose anything, and then you can take it out and sear it like you haven't gonna have a cauliflower steak. Okay. Sous vide eggs Benedict pizza recipe. Okay. So this recipe calls for what is it? You gotta have the water 167 degrees Fahrenheit and cook for about 30 minutes. Okay. Sous vide pizza. Okay. Oh, we go back. Sous vide mashed potatoes. You guys will be making that on Wednesday, okay? And there's a recipe in the portal for that one. It is 90 degrees Celsius for about 1.5 hours on the potatoes, okay? Sous vide brown butter scallops, okay? Another sous vide recipe. Sous vide cheesecake. You guys will be making creme brulee, okay?
What?
Yeah. Sous vide bacon. Same thing, 63 degrees Celsius for about 48 hours. Yeah, you gotta let it go overnight. Okay. Sous vide garlic and butter steaks. You guys will be doing flat iron steaks tomorrow. Okay. Sous vide chicken breast with lemon, garlic, and rosemary. Okay. You guys will be doing that on Wednesday. It is at 63.5 degrees Celsius, and it is for 45 minutes. Okay.
Hey, chef, can I get you to go back to the one before the chicken, please?
The steak?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's for Tuesday,
Okay.
chef?
No, there's actually a recipe in the portal for that. Yeah.
Chef again?
Okay, I'm good, chef. Sorry.
Okay, so we're doing steak tomorrow, sous vide.
Uh-huh.
Okay, followed by what on Wednesday?
Wednesday is pan-fried chicken, and I'll go over the menu in a minute, okay?
Yes, chef, sorry about that.
It's okay. Number 10, sous vide tomato sauce or sous vide style, even tomato sauce too, okay?
What was Wednesday again, chef?
I'll go over in a minute.
All right.
Okay. And just how to take care of the circulator, you got to clean it, make sure it's not dirty, okay? Just some housekeeping tips how to clean your sous vide machine. But in this case, you'll be using the thermometer, okay? What else? So tomorrow, this is your menu for tomorrow. Flat iron steak. Okay. Subi flat iron steak. Let me see if I can pull the recipe real quick. Yeah, it is on your portal, okay? So flat iron sous vide steak tomorrow, okay? You're gonna have sous vide asparagus. Okay, sous vide asparagus tomorrow. Sous vide béarnaise, okay? You put the egg yolks, the tarragon, the butter, lemon juice, and the butter in the little Ziploc baggie, and you do a sous vide. You bring everything out, put it in the blender, a little bit of water, and let it go, and you got a hollandaise or béarnaise. No whisking with a whisk on a blender. You're also doing a sous vide creme brulee as well too, okay? Sous vide creme brulee. And then you're gonna break down your chicken for the next day because you're gonna do sous vide pan fried chicken, okay? That is your menu for tomorrow, okay? So
Since
here,
we're doing the creme brulee tomorrow, we're presenting it Wednesday.
yes. So here's your menu on the portal, okay? You got a flat iron steak, you got asparagus, you got béarnaise, creme brulee, and you're gonna bring down the chicken. So if I click on a flat iron steak, okay, this is what happens, okay? See the recipe pop up? Okay.
Chef, did you also unlock the test?
No, there's no questions. I got a load of the questions.
Okay.
So this is your recipe for the flat iron steak. Steak, salt, olive oil, bay leaf, fresh thyme, and butter. You're gonna season the steak first. You're gonna use a Ziploc baggie. Make sure that when you guys do so, okay, you take a closer look at the temperature the water needs to be at, okay? The water needs to be at a 56 degrees Celsius. So calibrate your thermometers and set it for Celsius because all these recipes are Celsius centigrade, okay? Setting. Flat iron steak is gonna be for 1 hour, okay? So take it real close, okay? The next recipe, you got asparagus, okay? Asparagus, 82 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes, okay? Béarnaise, okay? Well, hollandaise, butter, egg yolks, tarragon, and parsley, a little bit of lemon juice and salt in the Ziploc baggies, okay? And it has here,
So we make the hollandaise sauce. We make
Correct.
the hollandaise sauce before, then we put it in the baggie after we blend it.
no, you put the egg yolks, the lemon juice, tarragon, salt, and butter in the Ziploc baggies. You sous vide it, okay? And then you take everything out when it's done. And you put it in a blender with a little bit of water and turn on. And that makes béarnaise.
Is the temperature and time in there?
There is. I don't see it here, but I'll find it. Okay, let me see if the Eggs Benedict.
$64 Celsius for 1.5 hours.
Yep. And then you have, where is it? Creme brulee. Creme brulee, it's you're gonna heat it to 80 degrees, okay? And then once you make your mix, you're gonna heat your cream to 70 degrees Celsius, okay? And just follow the simple instructions. You need about 11 yolks, okay? So the recipe's on the portal for your sous vide on Tuesday, tomorrow. They're also there for the next day on Wednesday, okay? You got fried chicken, which you need to fabricate the chicken, put it in a Ziploc baggie and season it. You got your potato, this is your chicken, okay? You have your potatoes. You have your carrots, okay? So all those items are on the portal. All those recipes are there, guys, okay? Got it? Okay.
Chef, are we going to need the whole chicken or can we just buy chicken thighs? Or
You can just buy chicken thighs. You don't have to buy the whole chicken.
Okay.
So that is it for tomorrow, okay? Wednesday, let's take a look Wednesday, okay? So Wednesday is another sous vide day, okay? Another sous vide day, Wednesday, okay? So again, how does it work? Real simple, okay? And I'm gonna pop in one here in a minute to tell you guys how this works. Let me see, no, okay. So those of you guys who are home don't have a circulator, okay? This is how you're gonna sous vide at home, okay? Like Chris said, is if he buys one, and I don't expect you guys to go get one, okay? Because you know, you might only use it one time, but if you guys want to invest in the future, that's up to you guys. So this is how to sous vide at home, okay? So your thermometer, okay, is sitting on the side of the pot. Okay, make sure maybe you have a spoon, long serving spoon, and prop your thermometer with the probe inside the water, so you can read the temperature. Okay, and then you have your Ziploc baggie, but maybe you want to clip it to the side of the pot. Okay, to make sure that it doesn't sink all the way to the bottom. It's that easy, guys. That easy. Okay. You guys got it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we have a machine, chef, do we have to use a lid? Or no, we just put the temperature and just let it be like that with the open pot?
Well, the lid you can use it to control the heat,
Oh.
because otherwise the heat is escaping to the top. So you put the lid on it and you retain that heat. Otherwise, the heat will drop.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, you're gonna have to, you know, baby that heat. If it drops, you're gonna have to increase the fire, and it's gonna get boiling water. So you gotta be real careful. Okay. So sous vide, thermometer, stock pot, Ziploc baggies. Okay. Easy, right? Just gotta baby it. Okay. So sous vide, how does it work? Okay, we just went over that. So the sous vide cooking itself is simple. It's a vacuum sealing your ingredients or using a Ziploc baggie, selecting the cooking temperature and then time and leaving them to cook. But there's actually a lot of science behind the scenes. So you gotta say, so take a look at your recipes and see what's gonna take the longest. If you're gonna have one or two stock pots, go for it, but you're gonna only use one. Maybe drop the item that's gonna take the longest in first. If something else requires the same temperature, you know, drop it in at close to the time that the first one is going to come out, so you can time yourself and have all the items come out at the same time. Okay. Anyway, so it comes on to the fact that the water is much more effective way to transfer heat, like we saw in the video, than air. An oven. Goal is cooking initially to bring food, which is cooking to a specific temperature, which is considered to be perfectly cooked. means that if you're using this more traditional methods of cooking, you need to set the temperature to a lot higher than desired temperature of food to at this point. However, lots of foods, such as fish and steak, the margin for error is very small, which opens the risk of overcooking or burning the food if you're not careful. So again, you got to time yourself with the timer. Make sure the water is sitting at the right temperature. Okay.
So, Chef Miguel, does that mean that sous vide is quicker than the oven?
Not exactly. No, no, because the oven is dry heat. So what happens with dry heat? Your product shrinks. You lose a lot of yield. In sous vide, you don't lose that yield. It stays the same shape. Okay.
Gotcha.
It becomes more tender because, like he was talking about, the water is a good conductor of heat, even heat to the product. So you have a steak in the sous vide machine versus a steak on the oven. That air is gonna, and the air heat is gonna make it shrink and toughen up. In the sous vide, it stays in the same shape, doesn't lose any yield, and the water travels to the product, making it nice and tender in the inside.
Gotcha.
So, anyways, it means that the outside of the steak will be well done, well before the core reaches the desired doneness, forming a large temperature gradient between the surface and the core, even though you're not only grilling for a short space of time. Alternative, if you're cooking in the pan, the surface of the pan, it could be about 30 degrees hotter than the center. So if you leave the steak for just a little bit too long, this temperature, high temperatures will be overdone and tough. Okay. Say that's nuts. Okay. So sous vide solution. However, this is where the sous vide comes in because water transfer to the heat a lot more efficiently. The food is cooked and a lot more gently, and it's held at exactly the right serving temperature without exceeding it. So you got to control that heat. For example, for a medium rare steak, which you guys are going to be cooking tomorrow, simply held at 56 degrees, okay, until it's evenly cooked thoroughly or about ever cooking it, meaning you don't have to worry about timing. So 56 degrees Celsius, and it's not going to get cremated inside. It's going to be cooked all the way through, but it's going to be nice and tender. It's still medium rare. So holding the food at an exact temperature might make more of a difference than you think because just a couple of degrees either way can make a big difference. The importance of temperature control is best illustrated with eggs, like you guys saw, right? Which proteins break down at 54 degrees Celsius, 71 degrees Celsius. That's quite a big range, and obviously the eggs are going to cook a lot quicker at a high temperature. For example, if you cook eggs sous vide at the lower this range, you'll get a loosey white or runny and clear. If you just have a few more degrees, all the whites will be starting to solidify, but the yolk will remain runny. Okay, a few degrees more, and you'll get something closer to hard-boiled egg. So you can just see how important accurate control the sous vide gives you. Okay. Something you'll also notice in the sous vide is that it gives you a very tender meat because it is effectively breaks down the collagen and proteins which make food very tough and chewy. It preserves the muscle and other important parts that provide texture and taste. It's going to be nice and tender. So with vacuum packing, you're going to use a Ziploc baggie. Okay, vacuum packing is also an important aspect of sous vide cooking. This process is crucial because it stops air from insulating the food and slows the rate of oxidation, which can lead to unwanted color changes and strange taste. So when you go ahead and put your meat in a Ziploc baggie, extract as much air as possible, like you saw, from the product, okay? It is also important for locking all the nutrients and all the good stuff into the food. These will be then leach onto the water if they weren't securely vacuum sealed. Especially good when cooking steak. All the juices are retained and could even be kept and used as a sauce if you wish, because again, it'll bleed in the bag, so turn to a pan sauce, okay? So sous vide cooking for consumers, recognize the risk. Sous vide cooking is gaining popularity among consumers. Sous vide is essentially cooking food, again, a sealed bag at low cooking temperatures. Food safety issues arise when the food is not adequately cooked, when cooled incorrectly, or when product is later held at incorrect temperatures. The first concern is that the food will not reach high enough temperatures to kill the pathogenic vegetative cells like Salmonella or E. coli. Okay, if your product is sitting at room temperature for too long. Okay, in traditional cooking, product is exposed to high temperature, and the center of the point rises to meet the temperatures. Our standard endpoint cooking temperatures is 165 degrees for 15 seconds. For internal chicken temperature provides sufficient kill that you don't need to worry about Salmonella or Campylobacter. With sous vide cooking, lower temperatures for longer times are used. So the concern is that there will be sufficient heat to eliminate vegetables, pathogens such as Salmonella or Campylobacter. For traditional consumer cooking temperatures, we have ample scientific product. So with chicken, you're going to let it for a longer time at the temperature. It's going to cook all the way inside. Okay. What else? The other concern is cooling. Temperatures used to cool. Temperature used to use will not eliminate spore-forming pathogens such as Clostridium botulism or Clostridium perfringens, and also produce product is not cooled quickly enough, or product is left at room temperature for an extended time being before consumption. So when you do sous vide, you're going to consume it right away. You're not going to let it sit for too long. Okay, you're not going to cool it in the bag for too long either because the heat is entrapped. Okay. So you think you know everything there is to know about cooking sous vide? Think again. Take a look at some of the ways chefs and some home cooks are using sous vides in the new and exciting ways. Once you've identified the perfect temperature and time for cooking eggs, serve steaks. So perfect friends are coming out around for dinner. Or the too often know your way around. Fish, vegetables, or large joints meats. You might think you've tried everything. Sous vide can cover, but thanks to the latest wave of home cooks and chefs experimenting with the technique, you can sous vide almost anything. Almost anything, okay? Mixology, which next one? Yes, you can do mixology too, okay? It is really interesting on mixology, okay? There are a few ways to flavor spirits: compounding, adding artificial and natural flavors to the spirit, adding flavor during distillations, which is now how gin is made, maceration, muddling ingredients into the liquid, infusion, adding an ingredient to alcohol and leaving it for time to impart its flavor, and percolation, heating the spirit too quickly and infuse flavors. Percolation is seen as one of the most effective methods. There's a traditional being a problem with this. The alcohol evaporates at a lower heat than water, leaving you with an alcohol-free spirit, like almost ginger beer. They use this lots in cooking, flambeing beef, maybe in brandy, for example, but people expect alcohol in the cocktails, so it's a little more tricky, okay? This is where sous vide comes in. By heating the spirit in a vacuum pouch, there's nowhere for the ethanol to evaporate to, so it stays put in the liquid. It is essential to speed up the version of infusing, but results in a more vibrant, richer, and flavored spirit that takes nowhere near the long traditional methods. It also means you don't need to store big glass jars of spirits for months on end, and instead create a small amounts of different flavored spirits for well-stocked cocktails. Okay, so mixology is another one. Okay, dairy, most of it is cheese. Okay, let me pop in the mixology here in a minute. Okay, because we're on it. Come on. Here's a sous vide mixology.
All right, today's burgers are from Hello Fresh. They're the griddled onion cheeseburger.
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help.
Really?
This sentence is grammatically correct. Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire,
What you guys think? Mixology.
That last one
We're
looks
like a
really,
bunch of mad scientists.
I love that gin and tonic.
Gives me some ideas.
I like the Negroni one. That one looks interesting.
Frozen lemonade, right?
Yeah, that looked really nice.
So sous vide it's not only with food, you can also do mixology. You can, like I say, you can sous vide almost anything. Of course, you know, if you're going to run a bar where they have sous vide beverages, you might have to charge, upcharge for the sous vide labor that goes in it. In this case, we're just testing them out, doing different recipes. But if you're going to try some of this at home, again, that's what you want to invest in the future. You know, it might be worth to take a look at it. If not, you know, you can just do a thermometer. Okay. So sous vide, okay, dairy too, cheese. Most of us buy cheese and yogurt from the shops under the impression that it's just not worth the hassle to make from scratch or at home. But with water bath, it can be as simple as pouring some milk in a bag and leaving it to heat through. In fact, making fresh ricotta sous vide involves hardly any effort whatsoever. And you guys remember making ricotta in 201, right? So it took what, a day or two? It is ready under 2 hours, and there's hardly any washing up afterwards. If you're serious about making cheese at home, don't just stick to the fresh varieties. You can combine the milk, rennet, and culture in a plastic bag and cook it in a water bath. Then strain, salt, and age it in the same way as normal. Even creme fraiche can be made with a mixture of double cream and buttermilk. Just doesn't only need to be mixed together and left to gentle heat and water bath for several hours. Homemade yogurt needs incubating in order to stimulate all the bacteria, which thickens the flavors of the milk. It's vital to keep the jars in a consistent, precise temperature for several hours. Too hot and the bacteria dies, too cold and it will lie dormant. A water bath is perfect for jobs like this, and you'll be rewarded with a perfect yogurt time after time. So just a little tip on yogurt. Remember you guys made it in 201, right? Remember you guys made yogurt in 201? And you guys made, right? You guys use
Chef.
milk and yogurt, right?
Yes.
We use yogurt to make more yogurt. Yes.
And milk, right?
Yes.
And then when you strain it, you ended up with a loss of yield, right? Because not all of it was usable, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
So if you're going to make yogurt again, little trick to not lose anything and have as much yogurt, use heavy cream instead of milk. Heavy cream coagulates perfectly, and there's no straining afterwards.
Heard.
This is the thought, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So dairy, sous vide, stocks, soups, and broths, like this will work if you want an immersion circulator. A water oven can be used to heat up much more than just water. Cooks have started to use them like precise stovetops. Stock pots, placing a mix of bones, roast vegetables, and water inside, and leaving them to slowly cook for 24 hours, resulting in a wonderful fragrant stock. The same applies to cooking in thin soups and broths. Best of all, you don't need to use pouches, just quick clean, and that's all done, and when you're ready to cook again. Michelin star chef Sat Baines even fills his with melted butter so that he can rest the meat in it right before service. Just a few of the recent discoveries things sous vide a kit can even be used for. There's even bound to be more exciting and versatile techniques out there just waiting to be discovered. Finding them is just up to the chefs and home cooks who are part of this revolutionary wave of modern cooking. Okay. So Wednesday. This is your menu for Wednesday. Okay. Sous vide fried chicken. Okay. Sous vide fried chicken. You're gonna sous vide first, okay? Sous vide mashed potatoes on Wednesday. Okay, there is a recipe in the portal. I just showed you guys the recipes. All right, we'll take a closer look at those temperatures and the time. Okay.
So, Chef, do we follow the portals recipe, Chef?
Correct. Okay.
Heard.
And also sous vide baby carrots. Okay. So you got potatoes, carrots, and chicken. Wednesday, okay? And you're gonna torch the creme brulee on Wednesday because you're gonna make it on Tuesday, and torch it on Wednesday, okay? The creme brulee.
So we're not going to be using the lemon, garlic, and rosemary sous vide. We'll be doing it fried chicken instead.
You'll be doing fried chicken on yes for Wednesday. The rosemary. Sorry, lost my track of mind right now. So Wednesday, let me go back. Fried chicken, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and tortilla creme brulee. So the fried chicken, okay, you're gonna prepare on Tuesday, okay. You're gonna break it down, season it, and leave it in a Ziploc bag for Wednesday. You're gonna let it sit and marinate on Tuesday for Wednesday. And the recipe's got what is it? Paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, and buttermilk. Okay. And the potatoes are very simple. Yeah. Potatoes are simple, and the baby carrots are simple as well too. They're simple and easy recipes.
So, Chef, if we don't have a ricer, then do we need to try and look around for a ricer?
No, use a whisk, or if you got a mixer, use the whisk attachment. All they need to be smooth, no lumps.
All right, heard.
If you got one of those old school mashers.
Yes, sir.
So menu for Wednesday, okay. Sous vide fried chicken. You're going to sous vide the chicken first before you quick fry it. All you're doing afterwards is breading it and deep frying it to have a golden crust on the outside. That's it. You're not cooking the inside. It's going to be cooked all the way through. Okay. Your mashed potatoes and your baby carrots. That's your meal on Wednesday. Okay. Any thoughts about Wednesday?
Those are big baby carrots.
Well, the picture's big. Okay. Looks like we lost a few. Okay, so that's Wednesday. Okay.
So do you want the carrots sliced, Chef?
No, leave the baby carrots whole. Okay.
Heard.
We can't find baby carrots. Do you want us to cut up normal carrots?
Yeah, use normal. If you can't find baby carrots, use normal carrots, but cut them in maybe bâtonnet, okay, to resemble the shape of a baby carrot. Okay.
Okay.
Thursday. This is where it gets interesting. Okay. Thursday. Now we're done with sous vide Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday. You got a mystery basket. Okay. You got 6, 7, 8, 9, 3 hours to produce. Okay. I'm gonna guide you guys what it's all about. Okay. So mystery basket, and I'm gonna tell you why we're doing the mystery basket Thursday and Friday. Okay. So mystery basket objective. They are to think quick on your feet, come up with 4 dishes. I'm gonna give you the dishes so you guys can get ahead of the game, okay? Within a time limit for 3 hours, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you guys present by 9 o'clock, okay? With the mystery basket ingredients, I'll give you the ingredients. So if you haven't not done your shopping list yet, I'll go with the shopping list in a minute, okay? To work clean, organized, and multitask several items at once, okay? To create great dishes with flavors, textures, flow, and creativity while being a good steward of your product, okay? Utilize items in a way and bring them together on a plate. Execute a menu with style, presentation, and pride. We're not looking for slop on the plate. I'm not looking for you guys to present, give me a steak on a sheet tray or take a picture on a satay pan. I want an actual 3-star, Michelin star looking plate, food on a plate, okay? Get away from presenting food on a tray, pan or plain slop. Take pride in your food, okay? So the teams, if you can have your family clean up, that's awesome, but don't start before 6. We start at 6 o'clock on Thursday and Friday. You can't make anything ahead of time. You gotta start at 6 and then at 9. So no pre-prep beforehand, okay? Again, if you wanna have your family help you out with the dishes, that's fine, okay? Anyways, okay? The rules, this is a competition with first come, first serve attitude. Start at 6, and other than that, organize yourself, learn and multitask, okay? I'm gonna give you the ingredients so you guys know what you guys are walking into, okay? Set up your workstation. Set up workstation in your kitchen, depending on your kitchen. You might have a separate counter space for each recipe, or one recipe on the counter, one at the table. And if you have a super tiny kitchen, it will be imperative for you to be well organized, okay? Set up your basket. I'm gonna give you the ingredients for the baskets, okay? Set up a timer, okay, 3 hours. 6 p.m. we start, we end at 9 p.m. If you come in late to class, you already got a late start. Make sure you give yourselves at least 30 minutes before plating up. So actually about 2.5 hours, then within 30-minute mark, you're gonna start getting your items so you can plate up, okay? You start cooking, plating before timer goes off. Make sure you leave enough time to plate. So again, when the 30 minutes remain, you're gonna start looking into how you're gonna plate up, okay? So hopefully you have your dishes ready set to go. Your table will be clean, your countertop will be clean, and you'll start plating up, okay? Judging, if the timer goes off, everybody must present their food. I'm not gonna taste your food. You can have your family taste your food for you, okay? And I will rate on the criteria below, okay? So you're gonna tell me how the food tastes, okay? Is it disgusting? Even the dog won't like it. Is it delicious? Order this in a restaurant. So from 1 to 5, you're gonna give me a number, okay? If it's 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Presentation, it is plated with care, attention, and style, or does it look sloppy or unappealing? Again, I want a nice plate with this food, okay? 1, looks sloppy or unappealing, okay? 5, wow, it looks like it came from a high-end restaurant. Looks lots of attention to detail, okay? Use of ingredients, were all the ingredients used? If you don't use all the ingredients, okay, may take out points. How well did they bring the ingredients together? Did they make it work in a cohesive dish, or does it seem quite random, okay? Didn't use one more ingredients. 3, use ingredients but didn't work to get well together. You can't even tell one from the other one, okay? 5, use all the ingredients and made them work all together, okay? Creativity, technicality. Use creativity for beginner, intermediate cooks, okay? Use your creativity when you're plating up. Made a recipe already made before. Again, it's gonna be, I'm gonna give you the items. Don't just cut it up and out on the plate. No cooking, no skill, no creativity use. Again, this is a mystery basket. I don't want just, here's this on a plate. Did I tell you guys a story about one of the students that I had in the past? No?
Not about plating, I don't think, Chef.
I'm not sure. Are you talking about the one who was cutting his grass while you were trying to teach? A different one.
No. So I'm gonna tell you guys a story, okay, guys? Because again, I've seen some plates come up with that they look awesome, and I've seen some plates like, what the is this? What is this, right? Even my dog wouldn't even look at it, okay? So anyways, story goes, we had a class in a mystery basket, okay? And the mystery basket had 5 different menus from 1 through 5, okay? And each menu had a protein, a veg, a starch, sauce, salad, and a bread, okay? Protein, starch, veg, salad, and the bread. 5 items, okay? So anyways, in the 6-week course, the practicals menu had an artichoke, but there was no way in the 6 weeks that they had an artichoke to work with. And so I got them an artichoke, work with dry storage, got some fresh artichokes, and I gave them a demo, how to clean it, what to look out for, how to cook it, how to grill it, how to present it. The whole class was there. One student who was there all the time, very nice young man, always with a smile, always on his phone during the lecture, okay? And never got his hands on certain items that I knew that were coming in the practical, okay? So I gave him a demo, and he was there, but he wasn't there. He was, I don't know, somewhere else. It was always, K5, talking with the pastry girls or someone else, okay? So anyways, the time of the practical came around, and it was a mystery basket. You got a little piece of paper, and you open it, and whatever that random number was, that's the menu you prepare. You had 3 hours to prepare that menu. Remember, 1 through 5. So you had to come in prepared with all 5 production sheets for each one of the menus, okay? Because you didn't know which one you were going to pick. So lo and behold, he picked the one that had the artichoke, the one he didn't participate in, the one he didn't put attention. So he started, and I'm sitting there, right? And I'm watching him. 30 minutes go by, and I'm trying to help him out. I said, James, his name was James. I said, artichoke. Yes, chef. Yes, chef. An hour goes by. James, artichoke. Yes, chef. Yes, chef. All the way up to like 15 minutes before his time was up. James artichoke, because I knew how much time it took to clean, fabricate, and cook the artichoke, present it. 1 minute before plate up, he grabs the fresh artichoke, whacks it in half, puts it on a plate, and serves it to me. I'm like, yeah.
So I guess he's only ever had a brine pickled artichoke or something. To think that you can just do that with a fresh artichoke, that's insane.
In my mind, I had WTF in capital bold letters, exclamation point. So, moral of the story is, okay, on this mystery basket, it's practice, and you're going to have another one Friday because you're going to have a rapid fire coming up in week 5 or week 4. Okay. And
so it's rapid fire without the production sheets, Chef?
The rapid fire is when you we're gonna go into that next week. It's usually when you create a menu with an amount of time, and you create a 5-course menu, and you present it in time. Okay, that's rapid fire. In the restaurant business, you have a whole line set, and a table 10 top walks in. They order the appetizers, entrees, and desserts, and you got to produce that food with a certain amount of time. Okay. So the practice for this mystery basket is for you guys to refine and hone your plating skills. Okay, I don't want to see no artichoke raw on the plate. I don't want to see a sheet tray or a picture of a satay pan with your product in it. I want to see a nice composed dinner plate with all the components in it. Okay. So anyways, the artichoke guy, that was about 3 years ago. 3 years ago, and I still have that flashback. Okay. So mystery basket. Okay, no artichokes, no slop on the plate. Be creative. Okay, center the plate with flow. Everything's got to come together. Okay, so anyways, what else? The mystery basket ingredients. Okay, this is what you guys are going to make. I'm going to give you the ingredients, and they're on the shopping list. Okay, quinoa and lentil stuffed cabbage rolls. Now you know in regionals, you roll the cabbage rolls with the pork raw, so it did not crumble. It did not crumble when you cook the cabbage rolls. You know how to make cabbage rolls, but with a twist. You're going to make it with quinoa and lentils. Lentil is going to be your binder in the cabbage rolls. Okay. And I don't want to see the picture on the left. I want to see the picture maybe in the middle, nicely presented cabbage rolls. That's the first course. Okay. Second one. Okay, side dish, Anna potatoes. You guys made Anna potatoes in foundations. I don't know if you had Chef Gary, Chef Craig, or whoever you had in foundations. You guys should have made Anna potatoes in foundations. Okay, if not, do the research, do the homework, practice if you want to practice the day before, but not, you cannot prep anything the day beforehand. I mean, the hour beforehand. So Anna potatoes, okay, on its own dish. Okay, gnocchi. You guys made gnocchi in regionals. Okay. You guys know how to make gnocchis. It takes about 2 hours from A to Z to make the gnocchis, from the potato to scraping the meat out, to folding the flour, the egg, to shape him, to boil him, to shock him, to strain him, to saute him in brown butter. Gnocchi, okay? And roasted root vegetables. That is your menu for Thursday. That is your mystery basket, okay? Maybe that little bowl with some roasted root vegetables on the bowl, that'll be fine too. But make sure you have some color, okay?
Could you go over all 4 of those again one time, Chef, please?
Yep. So you got quinoa and lentil stuffed cabbage rolls. Okay. You got Anna potatoes. You got potato gnocchi. And you got roasted root vegetables, okay?
Okay.
So on your shopping list, okay, which is right here, okay? Week 3 shopping list, I'm opening it up, okay? And this is what you guys should see, right? Can you guys see the shopping list?
Yeah, Chef.
Okay, okay. So the shopping list here, you got your flat iron steaks, you got your chickens whole, eggs, butter, cream, and milk. Okay, for the creme brulee. You got asparagus, parsley, tarragon, shallots, potatoes for your Anna potatoes, your mashed potatoes, and your potato gnocchi. You got green beans. I don't know about green beans. So if you can't find no baby carrots, maybe use some green beans. Root beets for your roasted vegetables, carrots for your roasted root vegetables, butternut squash, green cabbage, turnips, cilantro, jalapeno, garlic, oregano, onions, mushrooms, eggplant, yellow squash, tomatoes, and spinach. That is your produce for your Mr. Basket and for the whole week. Okay. In the bottom, you got vanilla extract, sugar, white vinegar, kosher salt, and black pepper. Okay. So your shopping list has all the ingredients in it already. If you got some stuff from last week, you can use it too as well. Okay.
Is the spinach being utilized in the quinoa and lentil stuffed cabbage rolls, or?
And those, you can also use it to give it color to the the root vegetables.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Thank you, Chef.
So there's your shopping list for those of you guys who are on online. For you guys, Mr. Ron, Miss Kat, and Raceling, you guys want to have that on campus, okay? And you guys want to take your product home on Wednesday, okay?
Heard, Chef.
So that is your menu for Thursday, okay? It's a Mr. Basket Challenge. Again, not so much Mr. because you have the products here, you have the shopping list, you know what is expected. Find some good lighting, take some good pictures, and this is going to give you practice. Everything you're doing is practice for your combination dinner, okay?
There are only 4 on that menu. Is there going to be a 5th one added day of or something?
No, it's only 4.
Okay, thank you.
Now we're going to go to Friday, okay? We'll check, see what we got Friday. Day 15. There you go, okay? A little bit more about organic, non-organic. So here on the right-hand side, okay? It's about, these are the ones that are highest in pesticides, okay? Remember we talked about pesticides and so forth, so on, okay? Apples, strawberries, grapes, spinach, peaches, celery, sweet bell peppers, nectarines, cucumbers, potatoes, snow peas, and cherry tomatoes. Those are ones that are high in pesticides. The ones that are lower in pesticides are avocados, sweet corn, pineapple, onions, sweet peas, frozen cabbage, asparagus, mango, papaya, grapefruit, eggplant, kiwi, cantaloupe, cauliflower, and sweet potato. Okay, those are your items that are on the lower category of pesticides. Okay, so a little bit of history of organic and farming was lost. Organic history, brief. To understand why organic culture is so critically important today, helps look back at the history of organic farming and how conventional agriculture got to be so non-organic. Ever since the first hunter-gatherers chased away a flock of hungry birds that were eating something she wanted to harvest herself, humans have been competing with other organisms for food. Agriculture is about beating the odds by giving the desirable plants what they need to thrive while avoiding or fighting for everything else that wants to eat them, animals, birds, insects, and plant diseases. Farmers have always looked for the most efficient ways of doing those things, but until the last couple of 100 years, they have to do things with the they can produce themselves and find locally. Okay. So beginning of the fall, 18th, 19th centuries, a wide variety of forces and discoveries have led us to the garden path and away from farming methods that rely on natural systems. Okay, I'm not going to cover all, but here's some. Increased movement of goods, transport systems improved. Farmers could ship their products to more distant markets to get the better price, thanks to automobiles, railroads, and airplanes and ships. Increased income allowed them to buy things such as nitrogen-rich bad guano. Yes, remember, Ryan, you're talking about Korea, about human excrement, human manure?
Yes, Chef.
Bat poop is rich in nitrogen, bad guano. Believe it or not, rich in nitrogen and also potassium.
And COVID-19.
Well, you eat them. Unless you're Ozzy Osbourne, you're fine. You're immune. And phosphorus-rich rocks dust that will help them produce more abundant yields. Fortunately, the lush plants, the added fertilizers created, were not just more productive. They were also more attractive to pests and diseases and smaller, more thrifty plants that relied on cover crops and animal manure. New machinery, wonderful inventions that allow farmers to farm more land more easily were being introduced at the same time. Tended to work mostly efficiently in uninterrupted swaths of the same crop, so field got larger. Hedge growth in strips of woodland were ripped out, removing reservoirs, beneficial insects and birds, and the large new fields were planted in a single, ever more uniform crop each year. Efficient perhaps, but these larger, less diverse fields also provided the perfect conditions for plant diseases to spread and insects to thrive. Ever larger machinery also led to soil compaction and cheap fuel to excessive plant and cultivation, leading to acceleration of soil erosion. Okay. Fungicides. The first widely used fungicides were modeling effectively in controlling many serious plants and diseases and were reasonably safe for the environment and farmer. They use today's organic farmers. Sulfur by itself in combination with lime came to use in the early 1800s and both provide quite effective against many plant diseases. Copper sulfate even more effective when it was introduced in the late 1800s. Insecticides, the first wave. The first insecticides entered the widespread use, however, were not so nice, based on toxic metals and minerals such as arsenic, copper, lead, and mercury, and other poisonous nicotine. They sicken or kill almost everything that they ate or came into contact with them, including beneficial insects, pollinators, animals, and humans. Copper acetoarsenic. Arsenic was first used in the late 1860s to control Colorado potato beetle in the USA and was quickly adopted orchids for controlling cuddling moths. It was soon replaced by the perhaps more even nasty compound, lead arsenate, which proved less harmful to the plants but remained effective against pests and longer. Many compounds were not only toxic when they applied, but they will build up in the soil, making them unsafe long after the farm had displaced them. Okay? Farming started to get rather dangerous, and at a point, researchers began looking into more effective pesticides with the prior intended side effects. Better living through chemistry, early 20th century. Thankfully, imported fertilizers and pesticides remained effectively expensive and tended to be used only on high-value crops. So most farms and foods were organic through the 1920s. However, cheap petroleum and the rapid advancements of science fueled by two world wars led to a huge change in farming and developed countries over the next couple of decades. Two of the most important forces unleashed were the sudden availability of seemingly limitless amounts of cheap nitrogen fertilizer and the rebranding of nerve gas as an insecticide, the rise of nitrogen fertilizers. Until just over a century ago, there was only waste to get nitrogen the plants could use as a return as much manure and plant residue to the fields as possible and grow plants like beans that form an association with bacteria that can fix nitrogen out of the air. However, in 1909, German chemists discovered a way to make nitrates using temperature and lots of petroleum. Plants can use nitrate as a source of nitrogen, can also make jolly good bombs and ammunition with it. Boom. World War II. Huge factories cranking out tons of nitrate. When the war ended, they suddenly had almost no customers. So the marketing departments printed on new labels and started marketing as fertilizer. That's what happened in Lebanon, right? That huge explosion. Okay. So what's wrong with the nitrates and other man-made nitrogen fertilizers? Plants love them, but it's only like feeding a kid candy. Yields go up sharply the first few years, but as soil organic matter is used and not replaced, and soil microorganisms die off. You need to add more and more to get the same effect. Okay. Additional farmers tend to believe some is good, but then must be better. The excess of nitrogen washes down the groundwater, making water potentially toxic to drink. And to surface water where it disrupts the natural ecosystems, plants fed lots of nitrogen are also lush and attracted to pests and diseases. Okay. So insecticides, again, World War II chemists were hard at work creating chemicals that could use as weapons. For discussion, the most important were the nerve agents, which killed disrupting the normally activity of nerves, insects, the different enough from humans and other animals that once was the demand for weapons was over. Chemists could turn their efforts in creating new nerve agents that killed insects effectively. with little immediate effect on humans at low doses. Okay, and the problems now that this second wave insecticides are not are not as benign as researchers marketers would have us believe. Some have effects on animals and humans that don't show up for years and years and generations. And again, back to DDT. Okay. The Green Revolution, final nail in the coffin, 1950, 1970. Massive plant breeding programs in the middle of the 20th century created marvelous new varieties, much of which were selected because they will produce prodigious yields. They help feed a rapidly expanding population, which may not be having a good. It made farms more productive. So fewer farms were needed. Unfortunately, what is first seemed like a salvation of mankind, it turned to be a Ponzi scheme, and it continued to unravel today. Okay. Many of the high-yielding varieties require massive amounts of synthetic nitrogen fertilizers and pesticides to perform well. Trying farmers to their fertilizers, pesticides, and equipment dealers. Seeds of high-yielding hybrids must be purchased each year. Trying farmers to increase the power of seed companies, and one of them is Monsanto. So 7 pros and cons of conventional farming. Number 1, conventional farming is one of the most practiced farming methods because it benefits the producers and consumers, including availability and price. However, there's a lot of disadvantages attributed to this method. Okay. 1, the lesser the cost, higher the gains. According to farmers who produce conventional farming, one of its benefits is the cheaper cost of using this method. Unlike organic farmers who use compost and animal manure, which are expensive to ship, conventional farmers can use synthetic chemical fertilizer and sewage sludge that are cheaper. Okay. Number 2, job opportunities. Advocates for conventional farming posted there are several ways to this method opens up doors in the working class. Since farmers can use large areas of farmlands, potentially farm workers will be given jobs easily because the need for more help in the fields. Other job opportunities include drivers, delivery trucks, of course, laborers and helpers. Okay. Number 3, increase of food production. Since the production costs in conventional farming are low, farmers will need to be able to produce more crops, and as a result, meet growing demands for food supply, which affects the global warming, which includes natural calamities, drought, and the like. Food production becomes low with the capability of this method produces large quantities of food, as opposed to organic farming. More farmers use this method. Because of low cost production costs, conventional farmers are able to mass produce their crops and sell them to consumers at a lower price. Okay. One of them, have you guys ever heard of the $2 Chuck wine at Trader Joe's?
No, sir. You was telling me about that the other day, though, Chef.
$2 Chuck. You can buy a bottle of wine for $2, $1.99 at Trader Joe's. Now it's like $2.25, something like that, but it's still around $2. It is massively
like Ripple.
Huh?
Is that like Ripple?
Almost.
An old cheap wine, that bottom shelf stuff.
And $2 massively produced, and it's good quality wine. I mean, I'm not saying this is it's up against Bordeaux from France or Super Tuscans from Italy, but it's a decent wine. $2 Chuck, massively produced by conventional farming. Okay, whereas in Italy and France, the old world, okay, that's considered old world. They do they make wines the old way, not by conventional equipment and technology. Presence of pesticides. Again, we cover pesticides. Okay, 13 types of chemicals that can be present in conventionally grown crops, which children usually eat. So in this case, only choose fruits and vegetables alike. They can be exposed to these chemicals over and over again. Remember what I said earlier ago about making that research paper about, back in the 1800s, when you die, you get buried the next day or the day of. Now you die today, you can bury the next month. So we are what we eat. Opponents of the use of conventional farming claim that this method introduces pollutants to the environment, like byproducts that result from the process of manufacturing these chemicals and fertilizers. Okay. For the case of animals being used for food production, conventional farming also has an impact on this because these animals are fed with mass-produced feeds. Again, chicken to the cows, so they have salmonella in the gut already. Okay. Chicken to the fish, aquaculture. Critics conventionally farming said that since this method is cheaper and lucrative, big farming industries that have been the capital to finance large areas of farmlands will dominate the industry and leave the small farmers with less room to grow in the industry. No doubt conventional farming has its pros and cons, but despite its issues, it still remains a very popular farming method. Perhaps it is best to encourage farmers to continue the research on producing safer and less expensive crops to increase the sales with lesser drawbacks. Okay. So here's your harvest calendar, guys. Okay. In June, see if I can zoom in. July, you got peas, carrots, cucumbers, summer squash, zucchini, lettuce, kale, Swiss chard, bok choy. All the way through October, you got potatoes, onions, garlic, carrots, beets, turnips. Okay. On the right-hand side here, you got your Bavaria Hill Farms. And I can take a look at strawberries. Where are the strawberries? Blueberry strawberries. Here we go. From June, July, and then again August to October. So when you buy strawberries for Valentine's Day, the Driscoll strawberries are extremely expensive, not just because high demand, because they're not in season. And when you buy those big, long Driscoll strawberries, they almost have no flavor because they're not in season. Okay. So I know. Okay.
So if they're not in season, then they're only produced in greenhouses during that time of the year?
Bingo, just like tomatoes. Tomatoes are in season now, but during the wintertime, guess they're produced in greenhouses, and they're ripened on the trucks on the way to the supermarket.
Sorry, this is off topic for just a second. Did anybody happen to see about the big daylily? It was an article about a gardener that produced the daylilies for all of the flowers this year for Easter in Texas, and they ended up having to destroy their entire crop from the lockdown. It was like 50,000 daylilies.
That is insane. Not only that, I mean, all the up in the North, Midwest too, you know, all the chickens that they had to kill, all the farmers that they had to, dump all the crops up in New York too, because they didn't have no sales because of the lockdown. So top 10 crops of Texas, okay? Cotton. Of all the crops produced in Texas, cotton contributes the largest portion. 9% of the state's agriculture receipts. Greenhouse and nursery products. This category includes things like bedding plants, sod, foliage plants. You got hay, grain, sorghum, corn, wheat, and peanuts. That's what the big 7 crops of Texas produces here. Okay.
Also, Chef, rice is starting to, on East Texas, rice is starting to become the East South Texas rice is starting to become.
So why is that, Mr. Ron?
It's because the water, migrating from Louisiana, because Louisiana has a lot of rice too. So
marshland.
They're marshlands, yeah.
The swamps. That's where rice paddies thrive and grow. So yeah, you won't find rice in West Texas because it is barren, right? You'll find it in close to Louisiana because, again, the marshlands and the swamps, the great breeding grounds for rice. Rice paddies, yeah. What else we got? So here's your Mr. Basket Part 2 for Friday. Black pepper pasta carbonara. And now you have your shopping list. You want to try and squeeze in some of the semolina, it'd be awesome. And not flour will be great too, okay? And carbonara, just some bacon and some Parmesan cheese, okay? And there's a technique that goes into making carbonara, okay? So Mr. Basket, Part 2 Friday, black pepper pasta carbonara. You're gonna infuse the pasta with cracked black pepper, okay? Ratatouille, okay? And again, just kind of some examples of ratatouille. You can deconstruct it and you see here on the right-hand side, okay? The right-hand side of the plate, that's ratatouille. I know ratatouille, when we think about it, we go to the left-hand side, and it's a vegetable stew, zucchini, squash, eggplant, peppers, tomatoes, right, and onions. But if you deconstruct it, okay, you can also bring that to a high level, like you see on the right-hand side picture, okay? So ratatouille, oh, come on. Okay. Ratatouille, guys. Okay. You got black pepper carbonara. Okay. And you got ratatouille. Okay. 2. Third one, roasted Brussels sprouts with pesto. Okay. And the fourth one, basic sauteed spinach, garlic spinach. So these are just side dishes, guys, and not main entrees, side dishes, okay? You got black pepper pasta carbonara. You got ratatouille, Brussels sprouts with pesto, and you got sauteed garlic spinach. Those are your menus for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So what are you guys doing tomorrow?
We're doing
Flat iron steak.
sous vide, asparagus,
mashed potatoes,
Downese.
Oh, wait, that's Wednesday.
And your
Downese. I'm just kidding.
And your creme brulee. So flat iron steak, asparagus, béarnaise. What else?
Creme brulee.
Creme brulee.
Potatoes also, chef.
Yeah.
Marinate chicken.
And you're gonna fabricate and leave the chicken ready for Wednesday, right? In a Ziploc baggie. And you're gonna use a thermometer like you saw in the video on the side of the stock pot, controlling that heat, checking the temperature, okay? And you're gonna cover it so the heat does not escape, okay? Otherwise, like you saw in the mixology video, you saw that sous vide machine that had little white little balls on top. Those were created so retain the heat on the water inside. Okay, no lid required. If you don't have a lid, saran wrap, it'll work fine too, or aluminum foil, but you can't see right in. Okay. Wednesday, what's Wednesday's menu?
Fried chicken breast. It'll be sous vide and then finished with the breading.
Mashed potatoes and baby carrots.
Got it. Okay. If you can't find baby carrots, you just regular carrots, but cut them in bâtonnet, the same shape and size as baby carrots, and you can eat some for Friday's roasted root vegetables, or Thursday. Okay.
And we'll also torch our creme brulee.
Bingo. Okay. So when the creme brulee, when you make the custard, you're gonna make it the traditional way, right? When you're gonna heat up the cream, take it out. You're gonna have the egg yolks, the sugar, the vanilla extract. You're gonna temper the egg yolks, pour it back into the pot, put it back in the stove top to a certain temperature, bring it outside, let it cool, pack it into the little. You got some cups with a tight lid. Don't tie it too tight, and then just drop them slowly into the sous vide. Okay.
Chef, what's the temperature for the creme brulee sous vide machine?
It's in the portal of the recipes. So I can pull it up. I think it's for an hour and a half. Let me go back and look. Okay. So your creme brulee is in the portal recipes, and it calls for 80 degrees Celsius. Okay. And for 1 hour. Yeah. And just follow the rest of the recipe. Okay. What's Thursday, guys?
Mystery
basket.
Okay.
Quinoa and lentil stuffed cabbage rolls is one of them.
What else?
Potatoes, Anna.
Potatoes, Anna.
Gnocchi.
Yes.
Gnocchi and roasted root vegetables.
Got it. Okay. What about Friday?
Black pepper carbonara, ratatouille.
And
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts with pesto sauce.
And
garlic spinach sauteed.
Garlic spinach.
Okay. So take a look at your menus. Take a look at your shopping list. If you already have some of these ingredients, X them out, and do add the quinoa. Okay. And what else? If you don't have any pine nuts for the pesto, basil, and a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Okay. So,
Is it all right to use a quinoa blend? Because I have a nice quinoa blend that has like 3 different colors to it because it has millet and buckwheat.
and you can use it. You're also going to get some from school, so you can use it in one.
Heard, Chef Miguel.
So there you go. You got. Go ahead.
So on the quinoa and lentil, do you cook the lentils and leave the quinoa raw?
No. You cook everything because you can't cook the quinoa and the cabbage rolls. Yeah, I was making that preference to the pork when you guys made it for German original because the pork tightens up the cabbage roll. In this case, your lentils are going to be somewhat of the binder to make that cabbage roll nice and tight. But it all depends how you wrap the cabbage rolls, how tight you wrap them, and how you put them in, how you cook them up. So when you take them out, you can cut them in half, and they should stay in their shape, nice and firm.
Okay. Well, you cook the lentils and quinoa before you make it.
Correct, separate, because lentils and quinoa, the different cooking temperature, different cooking times.
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you.
So are we good for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? Remember, Thursday and Friday, you can't start anything beforehand. Everything has to be at 6 p.m., okay? You can't make anything beforehand. So you got to start at the clock, and you got to end at the end of the clock. It's a mystery basket. It's a time one. You get a judge on the time. You get a judge on your knife skills, and you also get a judge on your presentation. Don't want to see just slop on the plate, okay?
Heard, Chef.
Yes, Chef. Yes, Chef.
Any questions?